Hi, I'm Anne, and this is Elizabeth Ann Reads. Today I have a book haul for you. I went to a library book sale this past weekend and got, I believe, 19 books, which is very exciting. So I'm just going to quickly go through those and show you. I'm not going to go into a lot of detail about what they're about. Just want to show you what I got. So starting with two books that I have already read, but I didn't own copies of. I picked up Eleanor Oliphant is Completely Fine by Gail Honeyman. And also My Grandmother Asked Me to Tell You She's Sorry by Fredrik Backman. I also picked up two classics, The Mysterious Island by Jules Verne and Daniel Deronda by George Eliot. I picked up two non-fiction books, My Family and Other Animals by Gerald Durrell, which I believe is a memoir of his growing up time in Corfu. And I also picked up some Bill Bryson. This is a short history of nearly everything. I read Bill Bryson's A Walk in the Woods and really enjoyed that, so I'm looking forward to reading this one as well. I also picked up some historical fiction. I have The Zookeeper's Wife by Diane Ackerman, which I believe is World War II. The Women in the Castle by Jessica Shattuck, which I believe is also World War II, or maybe post-World War II, I believe. And also Lilac Girls by Martha Hall Kelly, which, again, World War II. I also picked up The Light Between Oceans by M.L. Stedman. This is one I've heard quite a bit about, but I haven't read yet, so I'm excited to have that. And The Greatest Night by Elizabeth Chadwick. I just heard, I can't remember who, but someone was talking about Elizabeth Chadwick and her historical fiction, and I think they mentioned this one specifically. So I was excited to find it at the book sale. I picked up The Readers of Broken Wheel Recommend by Katerina Bival. I've heard some mixed things about this book, but it's a book about books, so I figured it was worth it. I got Big Little Lies by Liane Moriarty. I have never read Liane Moriarty. I kind of don't think she's going to be an author I enjoy, but I've heard enough about this book that I decided it was worth giving it a shot. I got The Unlikely Pilgrimage of Harold Fry, by Rachel Joyce. I've heard a little bit about this one, and it seems like it's just a sweet story right up my alley, so I'm excited. I was excited to see that one. I got Miss Cop's Midnight Confessions by Amy Stewart. This is, I think, the third in a series about the Cop sisters. I've read the first one, which is Girl Waits with Gun. I decided to go ahead and pick this one up, even though I haven't read the second one. I couldn't pass up this beautiful, basically brand new hardcover. I also picked up The Country of Pointed Firs by Sarah Orne Jewett. I don't really know anything about this, except I know I've heard of it, which seems like a silly reason to buy a book. But I believe it's a set of connected stories, a lot of just really beautiful nature writing. But the seller for me was that it has these beautiful pencil sketches in it. It just was a really pretty edition, and I decided it was worth the risk. I also picked up three children's books. A Tale Dark and Grim by Adam Gidwitz. I believe this is not quite a fairy tale retelling, but I believe it follows Hansel and Gretel as they get lost in different fairy tales. I also picked up a nice hardcover of Eloise, simply because I don't have this book and I need to have it. Lastly, I got Rachel Field's Hitty, Her First 100 Years by Rosemary Wells and Susan Jeffers. I know this is a Newbery winner. I have not read it. But again, I was drawn in by the edition. It's a beautiful illustrated edition. So it's one I will be getting to, hopefully, soon. That's all I have for you today. Thank you for watching. Be sure and let me know in the comments below if you've read any of these books, what you thought of them. If there are some that you'd like to hear my thoughts about, I'll try and get to them sooner rather than later. And thank you again for watching.